I would say being an advisor through 2007, 2008 was super difficult. And I knew people that got licensed that week and they were like, "Oh, here I am." And I'm
What?
about to get knocked out. And I had been in the business a couple years, but I went home. I mean, that was the worst meltdown, to happen other than the Great Depression, right? It was the Great Recession. And we're facing new conflicts today, right? Is this, World War III? I don't think anybody's going to know the answer to that for quite a while, but I'm not trying to downplay what's going on out there today, in the market, but that financial meltdown affected the entire globe. I mean, and that's when we really realized that we were a global economy. Before that, it was like, I think we're a global economy. Oh, whatever. And then all allocations broke, bonds broke. We had Lehman Brothers go bankrupt. We had, Bear Stearns. We had just all these issues that were going on. So there was no place to hide. And that was really before we even looked at alternatives, right? Alternatives have been around for, 15 years, but nobody really looked at them. And now everybody's looking at them, right? As like a hedge and things that you can do. But that was really, I absolutely would not have quit, but it was incredibly hard because I would never have abandoned my clients in the middle of that. Can you think about that? Like your advisor, you're like, yeah, we're doing this, stay the course, we're going to be fine. And we're reallocating. And then the next day they're like, you know what? Peace out.
Yeah.
That's not my nature. So that's not a possibility for me to do that. But I did go home every day and I went by the hardware store and you're going to think this is so funny and people laugh at me, but I went and bought like a little paint can and I painted my trim inside my house. So I got a little paintbrush, and every day I would just come home and I would just paint the trim. I didn't talk, didn't want to listen to anything. I was tired of talking or hearing anything. And I painted a 3,800 square foot house. I painted all the trim. So I just came home every day and it was like precision and it was like gratification and it was like something mind numbing that just kind of took my mind off of it. So but that was how I coped. As weird as that seems, I'm sure a lot of people hit other hard things, but I just was like, I'm going to paint trim. I don't even know where that came from. Um, but for somebody like me who, you're constantly working on things that are intangible, right? We're doing wealth and creation and, tax planning and trust estates and how to kind of keep what you is rightfully yours. That's my opinion. Um, it's all intangible, right? It's not something you can just kind of grab and hold on to. People like me, we love painting, pressure washing, things that have like, clean. Wow, look at that, where it's just like really quick. So I've learned this is a trait that a lot of financial advisors really enjoy is in tax attorneys, things like that. I have a girlfriend
It's
who's a great.
tangible, you can control it,
Mhm,
and you
you
see the
see it.
result right then.
Yes. So I have some weird ways of dealing with pressure, I should probably do it in the gym, but painting has been one and pressure washing's been another one. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you should come over.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Help me paint the trim.
Uh-huh. I mean, you just think about it, it's so tedious, right? Like you have to really pay attention to make sure it doesn't hit your flooring and it doesn't hit your wall. And so it's just I don't even know how I landed on that because it's been so long ago at this point. But I just remember being like every day I came home and I grabbed my little paint can and my little brush and I would just paint because that was the 8 days of October, right? It was just rough. Those 8 days were super rough. And I had a friend at the time who was taking a company public in the middle of the 8 days of October. So I was hearing that from them and, dealing with clients and just the nervousness, I don't
Yeah.
ever take it for granted what we do for a living and that people give us their life's savings. And they're investing in the market, but they're really investing in their trust and loyalty in you. And that was probably one of the hardest things when I first became a financial advisor. The very first client's house that I ever went to, once I got licensed, they gave me a $250,000 check. And I mean, that's a decent size of money today. So, to a 24-year-old back in 2005, it was a lot, right? Yeah. So, looking back at that and saying, wow, they trusted me with that. Now, granted, they probably had millions. It was just 250,000, but to me, I was like, I must do really well with this. And I was really proud that I had done incredibly well and they complimented me on it and then gave me more money. But we can't ever take that for granted either.